I know more of them since I'm here. Welcome everybody. We're gonna start the citizen forum. It's 6:45. Can I get everybody's attention? We're gonna start the citizen forum at 6:45. As mayor, it's my duty to enforce order. Officer Call and Eubanks are the sergeant of arms and will assist in maintaining order. Those who signed up to speak will be recognized for 3 minutes. In no event will the citizen forum last longer than 1 hour. Unless you are recognized by me and granted permission to speak, you will not to address the board or otherwise make verbal noises that can be heard by any member of this board during these proceedings. If you do, you may be declared out of order. If you proceed after being declared out of order, your conduct will be deemed a substantial interference with these proceedings. Thereupon, you will be removed from these chambers and may also face criminal charges pursuant to TCA 39-17-306. It is my sincere hope that everyone participating in these proceedings will conduct themselves in a polite manner with respect shown to all, regardless of disagreement. We will start the citizens' comments. When you come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. First would be Rick and Ruth Young. I guess Bruce, both of them signed. I guess both of them can speak as long as they signed up.
Seems only fair.
Ruth Young, 429 Randall Lane, Laverne, Tennessee.
Rick Young, 429 Randall Lane, Laverne, Tennessee.
We come tonight in regards to Laverne's zoning code 5.052.2 R-2 concerning the placement of accessory buildings. This code went into effect in 1990, and as far as we know, it is rarely enforced. We know it hasn't been enforced in the last 16 years because we have a building that's out of code that's been there 16 years. Nothing's been said until recently. Our neighbor complained, and now we're being told we have to move our building. We feel like this code needs to be readdressed because we have been throughout Laverne, and at least 90% of the people that have an outbuilding have not followed the codes. I don't understand how you can tell one citizen because of one complaint that they have to move their buildings, even though they've been there over 10 years, and not tell the rest of the city that they have to move their buildings. I have over 100 addresses of buildings. It took me just a few hours to collect these, of buildings that are not within the code. The code is not being followed, and I feel it needs to be readdressed and amended. I will be sending an email to the mayor and the aldermen and to Randolph with codes concerning this issue, and I would respectfully request a response.
We are bringing this to your attention because you, as the mayor and board of aldermen, have managerial authority over codes to define them, to modify them, to amend them, to eliminate them, or possibly grandfather in any variances up to such and such a date if you want to go ahead and continue to enforce the code after that date.
And our research has shown that this isn't a state or federal regulation. It's merely what the city decided at one point where they and how they wanted the buildings placed. But if they haven't enforced it, then what is the point? It needs to be readdressed.
And just quick synopsis is that your buildings have got to be 10 feet from a property line on the side, 10 feet from a property line in the back, 10 feet from the property line on the other side. So basically you got to put your buildings in the middle of your yard. This does not seem like a good policy to follow, and it's probably the reason why it has not been enforced. So, we bring this to you for your consideration and your managerial skills in making this situation work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Don Boz.
Don Boaz, 135 Blair Road. I'm here opposing the zoning change at Blair Road and Waldron Road. I just don't think that the infrastructure can handle that proposed building that's going to go there. That's one of the concerns. And the other concern I have is what I've heard is being built over there. You know, myself and a lot of the neighbors have improved their properties, and when you do that, it improves the value, and a little concerned that it'll bring our property value down. But the biggest concern is that the roads ain't gonna handle it. And, you know, I don't think y'all should do it. I don't think y'all should approve it. That's about all I got to say. Thank you.
Next will be Becky Pollock.
Hi, Becky Pollock, 8041 Burntwood Drive. I'm here in opposition to the rezoning of the property at Blair Road and Waldron Road. These roads are old country roads. They have no sidewalks or anywhere to pull over on. Rock Springs, Blair Road, Waldron Road, they're all at their max capacity right now. These roads need to be, the infrastructure needs to be there to start putting such low-density housing into neighborhood and country roads that are already at maximum. And I don't know if you guys know this, but on July the 4th, a house burned down on Burntwood Drive. And I don't think that the response time, it wasn't in the city of Laverne, but just over in the Smyrna. And so, I mean, I would be concerned that, given on a holiday like that, that the responders, the EMT, the rescue, and the fire would be able to get through down Blair Road to respond in a timely manner to such a large structure fire as that. So, thank you.
Next will be Greg Pollock.
Mayor and Alderman, Craig Pollock, 8041 Burntwood Drive. I also oppose the development at Blair, and I think that we don't have the infrastructure to handle this development, and I think it's just a bad idea for the city, so I'd like you to consider and decline this motion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next will be Steve McGill. Steve McGill.
Steve McGill at 177 Blair Road. Spoke with you guys last week, so I'm just back to say basically the same things I said again, so hopefully you'll hear us. Blair Road cannot handle an additional 750 houses on it. I drove home from Brentwood today and came through Nolensville and drove on Sunset Road, and the citizens of Nolensville complain over and over about Sunset Road. Sunset Road is twice the size of Blair Road and has shoulders and has development on it. Blair Road has no ability to handle more development. I've read the traffic study. Traffic study is focused solely on how many ins and outs are going to come out of the different egresses and the intersections with Waldron Road and Rock Springs Road. Nowhere could I find anywhere in the traffic study any commentary on what the condition of the road is like itself and how many accidents we already have on this road from people coming over the hill too fast, and the ditches are so deep on each side of it. There's just no way that we can handle an additional 750 houses. We also have an opportunity to have a development in that neighborhood that blends with the neighborhood and meets the characteristics. I don't believe this high density development does that. We have a lot of good things happening in the west side of Laverne. We have the ridge that's just come in. We've got Woodsong down Blair Road. We've got a lot of new houses back towards Rock Springs that do increase the property values. I feel like selfishly this is going to decrease my property value. I don't believe there's any way it cannot decrease my property value. And for you guys personally, I think you have an opportunity to show that Laverne has an appetite for responsible growth, not unbridled growth, which is what our reputation is. And we have an opportunity to set that straight. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Kim and Paul Gentry. A lot of couples coming up tonight.
Teamwork. Kim Gentry, 1047 Walden Road. This is my husband, Paul. We are located directly adjoining the property at Walden for the Walden Road development. Pardon me for reading this, but I want to cover as much information, statistical information, and factual information. I know time is limited to be able to elaborate in detail on deficiencies of the traffic impact study. I realize most studies of this nature are based on statistics and federal guidelines associated with number of dwellings, types of dwellings, etc. However, statistics mean nothing when compared to reality. My family has lived at this address since December 2001 and have enjoyed the country atmosphere within close proximity of the city and its benefits and amenities. We realize development is commonplace in a booming Rutherford County market. However, even as real estate agents and contractors here in Rutherford County, my husband and I cannot be in favor of such a development as proposed. Now, based on the reality of living on Waldron Road across from the entrance of Rock Springs Elementary, I shall enumerate issues that currently exist to residents along the stretch of road. The curvy, dangerous nature of the roads, both on Blair and Waldron, present hazardous conditions even on good days due to current volumes, speeds, and the lack of any shoulders on either side of either of the roads. There have been numerous wrecks witnessed on the curve at the base of the hill in front of the school, just past the Lake Road entrance, and just below where a proposed access is designed. If not a total wreck, the guardrail is being worn by numerous cars in the area from the slight grazing when passing a bus, construction vehicle, or a semi-tractor trailer that has missed the small, improperly placed directional sign when exiting I-24 that says Interchange City to the right. From my driveway to Blair intersection is 7/10 of a mile, in which there are two proposed accesses. In Table 6 on page 26, without reading a lot, it is easy to see that someone or some developer is only looking for dollars and not safety when under each heading it reads, no recommended improvement, or as you read, there's very little improvement consisting of a three-way stop or a four-way stop or a turn lane on a road with no space to veer as it currently stands. Turn lanes designed for 100 feet of storage and 125 feet to 150 feet of taper represent an equivalent of one whole football field in 7/10 of a mile, with one dangerous tight curve and two hills with limited sight distance. With the proposed dwellings, including senior living, we are asking seniors to drive on already congested roads with added congestion equivalent to potentially over 1,500 individual vehicles. These are drivers still wanting to be able to participate in society. Yet, with age conditions, we'll be driving in dead man's curves, blind accesses on both Blair and Waldron, and no street lighting on Blair. Is this really a true offering to administer to the needs of our seniors? As noted in the study, there are no sidewalks, so enhancing a close-knit community where children can walk to school is not even considered. Again, it's dollar signs doing the talking. The general theme throughout the study, which is unfathomable, is that very little impact is going to be felt from Waldron to Rock Springs intersection. You have never attempted under current conditions to exit or enter your driveway during peak AM or PM timeframes, nor have you left your driveway and set in a dangerous curve at 245 for over 35 minutes while buses are given priority by the crossing guard at Lake Road to enter the opposite driving lane to pass all regular passenger cars. Oh man, that was a past 3 minutes. I still had more stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Adam Kahn.
I don't really want to go after her. That was pretty powerful stuff. Yeah, so ditto on everything she said. Adam Kuhn, 2016, Emma Kate Court. I live in the Woodsong subdivision, and I've only been in Laverne for a couple years now. Thoroughly enjoyed the time. I mean, the community, everything's been great. One of the things that brought us here is kind of like this perfect niche, if you will. I have to commute to Nashville every day, and it's in a good spot. I think that this rezoning kind of raises a number of issues. I mean, obviously there's some infrastructure concerns. I have a daughter that just finished at Rock Springs Elementary, I can tell you that doing a traffic study during like those peak times is probably going to yield entirely different results than doing one over the summer. I'd say that line, carpool line backs up past Blair Road, in the afternoon. So I'm not sure what the traffic impact of that's going to be. Blair Road itself is just not a safe road from a shoulder standpoint, of course. Even Waldron Road isn't like an enjoyable road from a safety standpoint to go down, late in the evening with the traffic that already exists, school aside. So I'd be interested to see what it's going to do to, I've heard someone mention response times. I think that's a valid point. The safety of the roads themselves with the increased traffic, what the cascade effect is going to be. I was speaking to a teacher at Rock Springs this last year. They said they were one of the most overloaded schools that there is in Rutherford County. I don't know that the accuracy of that, but if we're going to inject another 750 homes in the area, I think that kind of comes into play. Some of those are senior homes, obviously, but when you've got townhomes and the such. Even speaking to somebody who's been there for 2 years, from a property value standpoint, I think that's a valid point. One of the things that with a lot of areas of Laverne is you've seen property values go up in the last couple of years. And to kind of, derail that momentum that we're gaining, I think is going to put us steps backwards when, we've been making some pretty serious gains in years as of late. So, I don't think it's like a take my ball and go home, I'm leaving Laverne kind of thing if it happens. But I got to be honest with you, I think it's going to change the landscape, especially in that, corner of the world that most of us call home that are here. It's going to be impacting, and I don't think in a great way. So there's got to be alternatives, some additional studies. It's just, I think we're kind of biting off more than we can chew with this thing. But appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Next be Robert Coran.
My name is Robert Curran. I live at 820 Walnut Ridge Drive, which is directly across the street from the acreage that you're wanting to rezone to R2. When traffic gets backed up on Blair Road at Waldron, Walnut Ridge becomes a racetrack. And numerous, every morning, you've got people that's just flying down Walnut Ridge. There's numerous kids in the neighborhood. That's going to be a danger there. The way I understand R2 is that they have ability to build duplexes over there. Is that correct? Okay, so 750 front doors. We don't have the infrastructure for it, as everybody has said, and firsthand I see it every day. So I'm opposed to this rezoning.
Thank you. Next will be Diane Sanders.
I'm going to read too. My name is Diane Sanders, and I live at 1005 Lillian Court in Woodsong. I serve on the HOA board, and I'm here not only as a resident, but also as a voice of many of the Woodsong residents. As we have stated before on many occasions, we are extremely opposed to the rezoning of property on Blair Road to be anything other than low-density R1 without significant road improvements. We're not against growth or development. We just want it to be done in a manner that takes the safety of current and future residents into consideration and has the infrastructure in place to support the growth. I've emailed all of you multiple times, and I spoke on this issue last week. I feel as though I'm repeating myself, but this is very important. It will negatively impact the quality of life for current and future residents on Blair and Waldron Road. Blair Road is already dangerous. It's narrow with blind curves, multiple hills that limit visibility. There's no shoulder, just ditches and drop-offs, yet it's routinely used as a cut-through to Waldron I-24 as well as Sam Ridley. The city has already installed concealed driveway signs and dangerous intersection signs on the road, so it's no secret. The traffic has steadily increased on Blair as development around us continues. Development is imminent, we know that, both in Smyrna and Laverne, so there are several other things that we feel like need to be taken into consideration with your decision. As development continues, the ability to widen or improve Blair Road significantly decreases because the houses are being built so close to the edge of the road. The traffic study just done said the work required at Waldron and Rock Springs is a major construction project due to the bridge and creek, and that the developer should only be responsible for part of it. I asked where the money would come from to complete this project. A church is still planned to be built on Blair Road. Residents of the proposed development will use Blair Road and the proposed cut-through into Woodsong to get to shopping on Sam Ridley and I-24. We already have issues with speeders, people running stop signs. Chief Walker hears from us regularly on this. The outlets on Blair Road from the proposed development are in an area with two big hills that make it impossible to see but for a very short distance. There's also 190 acres for sale on Rock Springs and Waldron that is zoned residential right in the area where the major road work was mentioned above. There are over 200 apartments plus senior living being built on Rock Springs, and Woodmont is still adding homes. That's in Smyrna, but it still impacts us. How does all this impact our understaffed police force, fire department, and also our schools? Why would the city want to build townhomes and so many single-family homes on such small lots? All the lots in Woodsong are 1/3 of an acre, and they're selling as fast as they can be built. Why not continue this type of development and make Laverne a place where people want to live? I moved here 10 years ago to get away from postage stamp size lots. We have areas in Laverne like that already, and so does every other city. This development will negatively impact our quality of life if passed as proposed. It's very important that when development is planned, the infrastructure needed to support it be fully considered in construction. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Cole Allison.
Yes, my name's Cole Allison at 3204 Potts Crossing, and I too are against the proposed project going in that has 4 phases for basically the same reasons. The only thing I can think of a good picture scenario is these 4 phases are like an island, and there's no way to get off the island. From a safety standpoint, from a traffic standpoint, this doesn't affect everything that you've got. And the widening of these roads definitely, like everybody says, got to happen. You know, the concern I understand that y'all have is it needs to be widened all the way from Interstate 24, which is a major collector, all the way down to Rocky Springs Road. For a collector just to be able to start dispersing these people in and out of these 4 phases. I understand the builder or developer wanting to develop this and get the most out of theirs, but someone's got to ante up on front, and I know the city doesn't, and we don't want property taxes increased to pay for this. And I definitely would see R1 going in there, but we still need road improvements for this type of project. And the only one thing I'd want to probably say, I did speak to someone, and it's probably tens of thousands of dollars for this type of road improvement that really does to make things flow. So where's the money? And the only other thing that I can say is to reiterate the safety. My wife goes to work down there. I'm always concerned about either people on their phones or the short and narrow gullies that people could come off of. Lifeline's already been there once. I couldn't even get down to help the poor guy that was down in the ditch. I don't know if he survived or lived or not because it was straight down the hill. So if the traffic's not there, you got speeders, and I think that's already been implemented. So in summation, I want to make one other point about, and I think Diane mentioned it about, I live off a sort of a Buffalo Road and try to have another spur to offload that. They're still going to have to either get back to Blair, which the road is going to be bad because it's narrow, and also at Rocky Springs Road. So I'm opposed to it. I know y'all taking this consideration, and I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you. Next will be Charles Parker.
I'm Charles Parker. I live at 1165 Walden Road. I've lived there for 36 years come next week. When we first moved there, what we was concerned about mostly was co-op trucks coming through there and trucks from Heil Quaker going to Lewisburg. Nowadays, we don't worry about those, but we do have plenty of traffic. And with this proposed development, I mean, we're talking about maybe 750 houses. That's 1,500 cars possibly. But not only those, but the ones that cut through from Nolensville and Franklin that come through our way. Come to Rock Springs Road, turn left on Walden Road right in front of our house, and that's just going to continue to grow. So we don't want to worry about just what that development is, but what other traffic we have as well. So I think we need to be concerned about that. Also out of our area, we need to be concerned about water pressure, because from time to time we lose water pressure. Now when you add that kind of development, you're going to have some supply for it. And I'm not sure that the city is capable of handling that yet. So I would encourage you to keep this R1. We just have the one road, Walden Road. It takes you from I-24 out to Rock Springs Road. The bridge out there is pathetic, to say the very best about it. If you don't believe it, go out there right today. The signs on each side of it that have a caution with the yellow with the black stripes on it, they're flat right on the side of the bridge right now where trucks have come right across it. They're always coming through there. And they get hung up down there probably about once a month. Our police department can verify that. But it's not uncommon at all for that to happen. So we do need that road widened before you even consider such a thing as this, in my opinion. Was able to serve on the Plan Commission for quite a while. I do know this. These developers will bring you a beautiful looking plan. You zone it R2, that plan can go away, but it's still zoned R2. So please consider that as you think about this. Just because they bring you a pretty picture and paint you a pretty picture, don't mean that's the picture you're gonna get. Because we've seen in develops, even when I was on the Plan Commission, we had to really push to make them do what the concept plan said. Because developers have this bad habit about coming and whining about not making no money. You know, it's not our business to make them money. Our business is to take care of the citizens of Laverne. And I hope that's the way you look at your job as well. Take care of the citizens and the quality of life that we have here. That's the main important thing. Yes, we do want growth, and I know growth is coming. R1, I wouldn't have any problem with that. But I think we need to limit just how dense it is. Thank you for your time, Mayor Alderman. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That last one that signed up to speak, since it's after 7 o'clock, I'll call this citizens forum over, and we're just gonna start right into the meeting. As mayor, it's my duty to enforce order, officer call, and Eubanks or the sergeant of arms, and will assist in maintaining order. Unless you are recognized by me and granted permission to speak, you are not to address this board or otherwise make any verbal noises that will be heard by any member of this board during these proceedings. If you do so, he may be declared you out of order. If you proceed and after being declared out of order, your conduct will be deemed a substantial interference with these proceedings. Thereupon, you will be removed from these chambers and may also face criminal charges pursuant to TCA 39-17-306. It is my sincere hope that everyone participating in these proceedings will conduct themselves in a polite manner with respect shown to all regardless of disagreement. We'll start right into the meeting. I call this meeting to order. This is the Mayor and Aldermen meeting, July the 6th, 2017, regular meeting. And it's after 7 o'clock. Please stand for the prayer.
Let us pray. Dear Eternal Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this day. Thank you for your grace and mercy you so lovingly bestowed upon us. Allow us to see this day, a day we've never seen before, and a day we'd never see again. We thank you so much for our wonderful country. We thank you for our state. We thank you for our county and our city of Laverne, Father. Be with us here on today as we come together to conduct the business you've assigned us to do even now. We love you, we praise you, we honor you. We ask even now you forgive us of all of our sins and cleanse us up from all unrighteousness. This prayer we pray in the most powerful and precious name we know, and that name is Jesus. Amen.
Raise the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Slide that back. First order of business is to approve the minutes for June 6, 2017. Public hearing and June 6, 2017 regular meeting.
Make a motion to accept this.
Got a motion to approve the minutes. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing no opposed, passed. Minutes is approved 5-0. Now we're down to department reports. We got the fire department. Who's gonna do the fire department? Mr. Ricky.
Lynn's trying to pick on me tonight since I'm going to read off the board here. He thinks I'm blind. For the month of June 2017, we had a total of 269 calls. That consisted of 2 structure fires, 29 fire alarms, 2 vehicle fires, 2 grass fires, 2 hazardous materials calls, 28 motor vehicle accidents, 177 medical calls, 4 canceled en route, 23 miscellaneous calls, 991 hydrant refurbishments, and 14 fire inspections. Our average response time for the month was 3.2 minutes, and total water consumption for the same month, June 2017, was 13,500 gallons. Any questions?
Any questions for Ricky? Thank you, Ricky. You're doing a good job. Appreciate it, all y'all guys at the fire department. Next will be the police department.
Good evening, Board. Chief wanted a couple of stats gone over. For the month of June, we saw an 8.5% change in upward calls for service. The fiscal year, which ended the 30th of June, over 16 and 17, we had an additional 3,400 calls for 18.1% increase. And for fiscal year 15-16 versus 16-17, there was 10,000 more calls for 30% increase. The Tibers report will be out next week. It is not available at this time. Any questions?
Any question for police department? Thank you very much. Now we're down to codes department. It's Randolph Sawyers.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. The monthly report for June 2017, there were 18 single-family dwelling permits issued. There were 4 commercial permits. We had 13 miscellaneous permits, 1 grading permit. There were 7 other permits to include additions and remodels. There were 4 commercial plan review for a total number of permits for the month were 43. Fees collected were $30,734. Single-family dwellings, there were 20. Plumbing permits, there were 3 commercial plumbing permits. For the month of June, there were 19 single-family dwelling mechanical permits and 3 commercial mechanical permits. Complaints called in for the month were 183 for tall grass, 41 junk cars, 43 others. Building inspections on the month, there were 331. Our impact fees, monthly revenue with impact fees total was $63,320, $680,255.77 for the year. Total number of single-family permits issued year to date, 119. Total number of single-family permits issued during the same time period last year, there were 56. Total number of permits all year for the year have been 306. Any questions?
Any questions for Randolph? Thank you, Randolph. I know they've been keeping y'all real busy, and I appreciate your hard work. We're down to Park and Rec. AC is won't be here, but all the information is in our package. AC is down under the weather. I think he took in too much 4th of July at the park the other night, and I want to say on the Park and Rec crew, they done an outstanding job getting everything ready for the 4th of July fireworks celebration at the park. Everything went well, and appreciate all the hard work at the Parks Department. Now we're down to finance, Phyllis.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Alderman. Tonight's financial report is for the 11 months into our fiscal year, which ended in May. For the general fund, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $4.2 million.
Local sales tax, we have collected approximately $6.8 million. That's $1.8 million better than what we budgeted, and $1.3 million better than prior year. State street aid, expenses have exceeded revenues by approximately $82,000. And stormwater revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $135,000. In our water sewer fund, revenues have exceeded expenditures by approximately $3 million. On the second page is our balances in our various bank accounts. And I just want to take a special note here for the general fund, which is at the top of the page. Our current balance at the end of May was $16 million. State street aid was approximately $764,000. Senior center was approximately $45,000. Special revenue drug fund was $152,000. Equitable sharing approximately $146,000. Stormwater was approximately $4 million. Our capital projects streets is approximately $1.7 million. Capital projects parks is approximately $282,000. Police impact fund approximately $132,000. And in our water sewer operating fund, we have approximately $14.8 million. And then in our water sewer construction fund, which is our bond issued revenue, we have approximately $7.5 million left in that fund. And then our internal service fund, which is our employee benefits fund, we have approximately $428,000. And then the third page is a comparison to prior year. Revenues are up approximately $3 million. Expenses are up approximately $314,000. In our water sewer fund, revenues are up approximately $2.2 million, and our expenses are also up approximately $407,000. And our tap fees for the water and sewer tap fees are up approximately $322,000. Any questions?
Any questions for Phyllis? Thank you, Phyllis, very much.
Thank you.
Good job. We're down to library. Donna?
Mayor, Vice Mayor Alderman, good evening. For the month of June, attendance in the library was 9,369, with an average per day of 360. We issued 194 new cards. We answered 1,589 questions. We circulated 11,556 items, and there were 1,899 computer users. During summer reading, we have had 28 summer reading programs that includes children's, teens, and adults, with an attendance of 1,394. And our summer reading, as of this date, we have 790 people signed up. So we're really excited about our summer reading. Over to the side, you can see that we do have all of our programs still available for people to sign up. We're going to go all the way through the end of July. And today we had a really special event. It was our Great American Duck Race that was with the Parks and Recreation. They came out, Randy and Jonathan did, and built us a river in our backyard. And we raced ducks down. They were rubber ducks, and we had 75 children who had a fabulous time. So it was really a lot of fun, and we love to really coordinate and work with Parks and Rec. They're great guys. Do you have any questions?
Any question for Donna? Thank you, Donna. I
Thank
know
you.
that's an annual event over there.
It is.
And the library and the Park and Rec does a great job. And it's always a good turnout. Everybody has fun over there.
It really is.
Thank
And
you,
we were
Donna.
so glad that the rain held off this year.
We're down to water treatment plant, Thomas Champagne. I didn't see you, Thomas. You was hid back there.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman, Bruce. What we have is our monthly summary for the month of May of this year. The plant delivered 11,830,000 gallons, more or less, to the city's customers. Of that, 0.8 million were from our recovery unit. We've been having some issues with lagoon, and the operation of the membrane unit it's seeing some age on it, so we're doing a lot of maintenance with it. Noteworthy events, we did have some rainfall in May, but our year total is still an inch under normal for the year, so we're hoping that gets improved with these big showers we're getting. Everything was in compliance with our testing. Our flushing group visited 8 sites, and we had 4 sites visited with our auto flusher for about 300,000 gallons. We're just keeping the system fresh. Next month, those numbers have really changed because we're seeing some turnover with the lake, so we're getting a couple calls about odor I'll get to in a minute. As far as our connection with distribution, we analyzed 2 new line samples for them and 4 fixed line samples for the month of May. They did 35 backflow inspections during that month period also. Our customer service part is we had 5 quality calls, 3 were pressure, and that's pretty normal. We get people that just, the pressure changes, we talk to them and try to educate about their pressure relief valves, control valves. 1 that was taste and odor, we went to the customer's residence. She was complaining that her water smelled like underarm sweat. But the operator didn't notice anything there. We tested it back at the plant and it was fine. Our other one was taste and odor, and it was more of a appearance thing. It had white residue on our dishes, and we explained to her the effects of living in Middle Tennessee with hard water. There is some detergents do better than others on dishes. Our health and safety, glad to report no accidents, no recordables. Our training this month was on housekeeping, just keeping everything in order and not making any hazards from leaving untidiness. During the month, our personnel had 80 hours of outside training. 2 of them were in preparation for some certification exams, and we had 1 pass and 1 fail, so that's pretty good results. We're fully staffed with 10 full-time employees, and the last page kind of looks at our comparison of the year-to-date from last year. That's about all I have.
Any questions for Thomas? Thank you, Thomas. We're down to Public Works Department. Michael, you gonna fill in for Garland?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Mayor Alderman, good afternoon. For the month of June 2017, the street department had a total of 33 brush removal request calls. Brush removal pickups were 1,051. Brush removal loads, there were 53. They had a total of 157,000 pounds removed. Workhouse program hours were 473. Work orders for the month was 115 with a total of 30 hours overtime, and on-call hours was 15 and a half. On down to the fleet department, the vehicle repairs were 58. They repaired 53 of those in-house and had to outsource 5. Oil changes was 23. Looks like 7 tire jobs, 4 brakes. Equipment repairs for the month were 18 with a total number of work orders for the month of 97 with 48 hours overtime.
Any question for Michael? He's sitting in for Garland. And we move on down to utility. That's your department,
Yes, sir.
Michael.
Yes, sir. Again, for the month of June 2017, the water department, we had a total of 154 work orders. New meter sets were 9. We answered 357 Tennessee 1 calls. The mainline breaks for the month were 3. Service line breaks were 13. The gallons of water not sold for the month, the 512,920, just consisted of the water breaks and leaks themselves. There was another 1.5 million from the water tank project that we had to drain the tank, do the wash down. That number was not added into here, and I apologize for that, but that was the total number for that was 1.502. Meter swap outs for the month was 204. We did have a total of 75 hours overtime for the month in the water department. On down to sewer, we had a total of 109 work orders. Service calls were 68. Pump stations 41. Final grinder pump inspections for the month was 1. Our manhole inspections and repairs were 65. We were able to rebuild 12 grinder pumps in-house with a total of 50 hours overtime in the sewer department. One more thing, wanted to let y'all know, as we talked back during the budget retreat about some restructuring that may take place in the utilities department. That did take effect as of Monday. We did start the new department with the meter reader / leak detection. Justin Adams out of water billing has accepted the supervisor position for that department. We're really excited about it. Think it's going to benefit. We're going to benefit hugely from it. Is basically be able to monitor these meters on an annual basis, as well as more time to do leak detection in-house. So it's going to help us to have a maintenance crew as well as a meter and leak detection department. So we're excited to see where we go from here.
Any question for Michael? Thank you, Michael.
Yes,
Y'all doing a good job over there. We found a lot of leaks and we're saving a lot of money, and it's showing up.
Yes, sir.
On the bottom line, and I appreciate it.
It's a group effort between all of us. Starts at the top with Bruce and Kyle in finance and on down the board. Thank you, sir.
We're down to Human Resources, Cheryl Lewis Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen. Here is the report for Human Resources. We had 11 jobs posted externally, 5 internal jobs posted, 1 employee resignation, 2 terminations, 3 workers' compensation claims, 2 liability claims, 1 no-show care here appointment with a total of 101 for the month of June. There are 346 lives covered, 7 HRAs were conducted, 1 short-term disability claim, 1 long-term disability claim, for a total claim dollar amount of $370,985. Are there any questions?
Question for Cheryl.
Thank you.
Thank you. That ends our department reports. We got 2 presentations.
Get your coins, Dennis. Dennis, get your coins. Your coins.
See which one. Hope they got it in order. Which one goes first? Oh. This one's first. We got a certificate of appreciation for Alex Sims. Is Alex Sims? Thank you. The City of Laverne Certificate of Appreciation, I hereby grant to Alex Sims for placing in the 2017 International Health Student of the American Competition. The city hereby congratulates you for your hard work, dedication, and desire to win these events while participating in our community. Here's your certificate, and we do have a city coin. Thank you very much. Next is a Outstanding Performance Award. This is an award I only give out 4 times a year, quarterly, and I'm happy to give this one to Kyle Cantrell. Kyle, good job, Kyle. Thank you. Thank you. Come over here. Got one cameraman. And I'll read it here. City of Laverne Outstanding Performance Award is hereby granted to Kyle Cantrell for the dedication of hard work for the City of Laverne. The city hereby recognizes you with the award and thank you for the excellent work you do for the City of Laverne, given this day, 6th of July, 2017. Appreciate it. Thank you, and I also got your coin. Thank you very much, Kyle. We're going to move on down to consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or to deny the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve.
Need a second?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. The consent agenda passes 5-0. Moving on down to new business. First reading, ordinance 2017-14. This is an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 32, parcel 4, consisting of 214.44 acres. This is located at the intersection of Blair Road and Walden Road from a R1 low-density residential zoning district to a R2 minimum density PDR planned density residential zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission back on June 27, 2017. I need a motion to approve or to deny.
Motion to deny.
Got a motion to deny. Need a second. Got a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Alderman Jones.
No.
Alderman Brown.
No.
Alderman Cole.
No.
Vice Mayor Green.
No.
I say no. The first reading ordinance 2017-14 fails on first reading.
Mayor, I'm sorry. The motion was to deny the ordinance. So by voting no, you basically approved it in a roundabout way. So my suggestion would be to make another motion.
Okay. Well, we need to back up and make another motion.
I make a motion to suspend the last motion in lieu of a new motion for clarification. Seconded.
Got a second? Okay, we need another motion for first reading ordinance 2017-14.
Motion to deny.
Motion to deny. Need a second.
Second.
Got a second? All in favor of turning this down? Alderman Jones.
Yes, deny.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
And I say aye. So this motion fails 5-0 for ordinance 2017-14. Did we get it right, Bruce?
It's better, yes.
Because it was turned down, do each one of us need to state the reason we turned it down?
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay, we'll start with you, Alderman Jones.
I have to, the citizenry, it was eloquently stated. We're here to serve the citizens, and I had an overpreponderance of negative requests to turn it down. I would like to thank the individuals that sent me text messages and call and talk decently. For the individuals that call and sent their that sent their negative responses toward me about working with the builders, I don't want you to think that I'm voting no because of y'all. I'm voting for the citizens that had the decency to call and ask me to do it. And the bad roads that need to be fixed too.
Alderman Brown.
I agree with the residents on Blair Road and the surrounding community areas. That road is not safe for that many people. And also, I believe it's our responsibility here on this board to represent the people in Laverne. So we'll do that again.
Alderman Cole.
No, thank you.
Vice Mayor Green.
Okay, I'm voting no for our people to do our best we can for all of them.
The reason I voted no is I agree with just about everybody who was said. It's the big development out there was a big bite, and just really didn't think the infrastructure would get out there in time that the development would have been finished. You know, I don't say I'm against the development if the infrastructure was started, but seeing that it would take 3 to 5 years to build that out, I just didn't feel that the infrastructure would be out there in that length of time. But that area is very rural. and it's been undeveloped for a long time, and it's been getting to be developed, and the reason is probably infrastructure would be the reason that I didn't vote for it. And I guess that's all of it, Bruce, and we're running down to number 6. The attorney, are you satisfied with that?
It's not my decision ultimately, Mayor, but it's good that everybody has a reason for the denial. So
First reading, ordinance 2017-15, an ordinance to amend Title 10, Chapter 1 of the Laverne Municipal Code by adding a new section 10-105 entitled Renewal of the Protection from Animal Excrement. That's one we had at the workshop, and we talked about this in length. So, saying no more about it, I'm gonna call for a motion to approve or deny this ordinance 2017-15. Got it up to a motion. Motion to approve or deny?
Make the motion to approve.
A motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Got a second. We're gonna do a roll call. Alderman Brown.
Nay.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say nay. It passes 3-2. Ordinance 2017-5 passes 3-2. We're down to number 7. First reading ordinance 2017-16, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 general fund budget. This is basically something we do every year. We spoke at it in the workshop. It's something we do end of year cleanup. Need a motion to approve it or not?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2017-16 passes 5-0. Down to number 8. This is first reading ordinance 2017-17. An ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-17 senior fund budget, senior citizen fund budget. This is something else we do every year. This is basically for food. Need a motion to approve it or not?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2017 17 passes 5-0. Now we're down to number 9. First reading ordinance 2017-18. This is the ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 drug fund budget. This also something we do just about every year. This is basically we talked about in the workshop. They just kind of basically moving some money around. Need a motion to approve it or not?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Need a second?
A second.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Ordinance 2017-18 passes 5-0. We're down to number 10. First reading ordinance 2017-19. This is an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2016-2017 water and sewer fund budget. This is something that we talked about in the workshop. This is the deal that we bought the residential water meters. Need a motion to approve it or not?
Motion to approve.
Need a motion? Need a second?
Second.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. The ordinance 2017-19 passes 5-0. We're down to number 11. This is a resolution 2017-15. This is a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surface to the city needs and directed disposal of the same. These is some vehicles that the police department has impounded. We discussed that at the workshop. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Wait, you need a second. I second.
Okay. Alderman Brown seconded. Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. Resolution 2017-15 passes 5-0. We're down to number 12. A motion to renew property and casualty insurance with TML Risk Management Pool. This is standard. We do it every year. I think we spoke about it in a workshop. Need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Need a second.
Second.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. The motion to renew the property and casualty insurance with TML Risk Management is approved 5-0. Number 13 is a motion to approve a transit use agreement between the City of Laverne and Motlow State Community College to use the library meeting room as a classroom. A few people talked about it during the workshop. I need a motion to approve or deny.
I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Need a second?
Seconded.
Got a second? Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say no. The motion approve the transit use agreement between Motlow State Community College and the use of the library meeting room passes 4-1. We're down to number 14. Motion to approve bids for the environmental hazardous material service. We talked about it at workshop. We had only one bid. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve. Need a second. Number 14, the motion to approve bids for the environmental hazardous material service. I got a motion. I need a second.
I'll second so I can open up for conversation.
I got a second. Open up for discussion.
I think in every case, the city needs to try to get at least 2 bids. More is better. And I think that we need to put this out for rebid so that we can hopefully get some, more than just one person to choose from, more than one company to choose from.
Mayor, may I speak? I'm representing the company.
Got anybody else have anything? We'll run for a vote.
The attorney will agree this is allowed.
But I'm not gonna allow it, Matt. You're out of order.
So, Premier Protective Services was the only contractor that qualified.
Matt, you're out of order.
We're not gonna be railroaded like this. There was 3 bids turned in.
He's out of
Your
order.
purchasing
Remove him.
director- Your purchasing director went through the bids, and we're the only company that qualified. No, this is unjust. No, sir. No, sir, we're gonna do it right here. This is a legal tender bid that you guys put out, that we submitted a bid with 3 other companies. And you guys are gonna use, because I ran for alderman against
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we discontinue the meeting until we can clarify this and stop recording.
Got a motion to discontinue the meeting. Need a second?
recess.
Recess.
I'm not breaking any rules. Meeting's over.
Need a second?
I second.
Got a second? Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
I say aye. We recess it for 5 minutes. welcome everybody back after the recess. We on item number 14, a motion to approve bid for the environmental hazardous material service. I got a motion and a second
Approve.
to
Approve the bid.
approve
Yes, sir.
the bid for the motion. I'm gonna have a roll call.
It's still open for discussion.
What's still discussion? Anybody want to discuss it?
I just want to say again that the reason that I would like this to be rebid is because we only have one bid on which to vote, and this is, it's a one-year contract as written and can be extended for 2 more years. With there only being one, you can't really compare prices, you can't compare services, and so I'd like to just see it rebid.
Anybody else?
I'll agree with Alderman Brown. Also, I would like to add to that, I mean, with just to show the elephant in the room. This individual who's putting it up here, I think it's a disgrace to this panel, to this board, to some of the members of this board, that he was even able to bid. This man threw human excrement at this board, and he is supposed to be a professional in hazardous material. I don't think he should have even been allowed to place a bid on here. And that being said, I think we can do much better by finding someone who's able to do this job. I'll get out there and do it myself if I have to.
Any more discussion? April, can you read me back the motion that was made by the board?
Motion to recess?
No.
Okay.
Motion to approve the bid. The motion was made by Jason Cole, seconded by Melissa Brown, to approve.
To approve, okay. No more discussion, we're ready for a vote. Alderman Jones?
No.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
No.
Vice Mayor Green?
No.
I say no. The motion to approve the bid for the environmental hazard materials service is denied 4-1.
And that was just the motion to approve, so that.
A motion to approve.
Denied.
So
Now-
so now we need another motion to deny it.
No, you would need a motion to reject all bids and rebid the item.
Okay, we need a motion to reject all bids and rebid it.
I make a motion to reject all bids and rebid it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Now, any discussion? Alderman Jones?
Yes.
Alderman Cole?
No.
Alderman Brown?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Green?
Yes.
I say yes. This motion passes 4-1. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move it on to 16. On 15. This is a motion to approve the GSA purchasing of the fire equipment reserve pumper truck. We discussed it in length at workshop. This is the new, is it the backup truck? It's a new backup truck. It's,
Yes, sir.
it's
It's to take the place of the two we currently have in service.
We got 2 aging trucks, and we got one that's being built, going to be displayed like we talked about in the workshop, and the city's got an opportunity to buy it at a discount rate.
Yes, sir.
And I think we discussed it at the workshop. Since the other 2 trucks is aging, it would be a perfect opportunity to take advantage of the situation.
Yes, sir.
All right.
There's no doubt it will work out better for the city. One, it'll take us down to a certified new piece of warranted equipment where we have the 2 aged piece of equipment now. So it'll also save us on preventive maintenance and all, because we're going from 2 trucks that we try to piece together monthly to keep running down to 1 truck. So even pump test, preventive maintenance and things like that will go from 2 trucks to 1 truck. And as you all know, we have pretty extensive repairs that need to be done on those. One of which is the transmission that's out on one. It's relatively $13,000. That truck's 17 years old, so its lifespan's almost up. And then the second one is 22 years old, and it currently needs a in-frame motor rebuild done on it, and that can run anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 depending on how much they find once they get into the motor. So definitely we have to do something at this point. This is a demo truck. Luckily, it does currently meet basically the same standards as the equipment that we bought 3 years ago. It'll give us a little spacing now between that fleet of trucks and this truck. So further down the road, we'll have some breaks and when we have to purchase new equipment again. So yes, sir, I think for the city's interest, it's definitely it's a good purchase.
Phyllis, while I got you here, where's the money be coming from to purchase this truck?
Mayor, we would have to do a budget amendment, and the money would come out of our reserve fund.
Reserve fund, but we got ample money to buy the truck. Okay, any further questions on the new fire truck?
Sir, also, the representative is here tonight as well, but he did inform me that truck comes off the line next week. Was it next Thursday you'd be able to have it here? Next Thursday, he's going to try to have it coming through here en route to do its demo sessions in the state of Florida. And that's one of the reasons we're getting the reduction in the cost, is that it is going to be a demo until October. But that truck will be in town next Thursday. I'll try to get a notice out citywide and maybe get it in a centralized location where if any of the citizens or the board members would like to see it. Obviously, it won't be lettered or anything with our lettering and some of our equipment and all on it because it's going to Florida for demo, but at least you'll get to see what you're purchasing before we make the purchase.
And we're saving how much by buying this as a demo, other than buying it at a full purchase price?
When you buy this at full price, if we were to have spec'd the truck out ourselves in this same area, in this same line of truck, a truck we would have spec'd would have probably been somewhere around $575,000–600,000. We're going to get this truck for $475,000. That will be with some new equipment on it as well that is also needed. We will be, however, using as much of the newer equipment on our old trucks that we will be selling now. We'll be using all of the new hose and all like that to save some money on that section of it. But $475,000, and if you remember, our quints that we bought were just shy of $1 million a piece. So now this is a pumper versus a quint, which is a combination of a ladder truck and a pumper, but it'll serve in some other purposes as well because it carries a little bit more water, a little more maneuverable. So in the times that we have water droughts, outages, and things like that, this will give us a little bit better water tendering capability and things like that. But this truck will act as a backup for the ladder trucks, the quints, and we'll be able to back up the current rescue trucks as well because it's fully equipped with rescue equipment. So.
And what do we plan on doing with the other two reserve trucks?
The one we had asked during our workshop, it's my recommendation. I've talked to the city administrator. I think his recommendation as well is the one with the transmission out. We're going to surplus both of these trucks, but in our opinion, I think we would get more money in selling it surplus if we were to do the $13,000 transmission repair. There are a lot of departments that would probably pay decent money if the truck was in running condition, where we're basically going to get scrap money for it if it's not functioning because it won't have a valid pump test, road test, DOT test, or anything. As far as the 22-year-old truck goes, I would deem that we sell it as is. It will run, it will pass a pump test. The problem with it is it has a rear oil seal that's leaking in it, and the only way to fix that seal is to open up the motor. It does smoke just a little bit, so once you do that, it only makes sense to do an in-frame rebuild on the truck. I would not recommend that we put $20,000 to $25,000. We probably won't get that much money back out of that truck. So the recommendation would be to fix the engine, to resell it, and to just sell the quint, the 22-year-old quint as it sits.
Any further questions for Ricky about the fire truck? So we need a
motion.
We need a motion to approve the fire truck.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Got a motion to approve the fire truck and a second.
Yes.
Alderman Brown,
Yes.
Alderman Jones,
Yes.
Alderman Cole,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green. I say aye. The motion to approve the GSA purchase of the fire truck passes 5-0. We're down to number 16, appoint or remove board members. Library Board, one term is vacant when Kristen Constanza left us. We got 2 applicants. One is Rachel Keller. The other is Linda Sneed. Need a motion to appoint one of these people to the Library Board. Need a motion to appoint one of these people to the Library Board. I'll appoint Linda Sneed. Need a second?
I second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. Linda Steed is appointed to the Library Board with 5-0.
Are you saying Steed?
Sneed.
Sneed is, okay.
Steed. Steed. S-T-E-A-D.
Steed.
Yeah. E-A-D.
S-T-E.
E-D.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, got you.
We got it right there. Are we down to number 17?
No.
Motion
No,
regarding,
16B.
oh, we got another, number B, Economic Development Advisory Committee. One term expires. That's Floyd Dennis. He wishes to stay on, but we also have another applicant, is Lance Lee. We need a motion to put one of these people on the Economic Development Advisory Committee.
I make a recommendation to, or I make a motion to keep Floyd Dennis on the committee, please.
Got a motion to appoint Floyd Dennis. Need a second?
Second.
Got a second? Alderman Jones?
Aye.
Alderman Brown?
Aye.
Alderman Cole?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green?
Aye.
I say aye. Floyd Dennis is put back on the Economic Development Advisory Committee. Appreciate, though, all the applicants that put in a name. It's plenty boards to come up, and I hope they put in for another board. Number 17, this is a motion regarding office space for the fire department administration. I didn't know this was going to be on here. I think we talked about this at the workshop, though, didn't we? A motion to regard office space for administration. What do we need to say on this, Bruce?
Mayor, there's 3 options on the board. One is 605 Waldron Road, one is 1925 Madison Square, and then the other is 283 Old Nashville Highway with the Civic Auditorium. On that sheet of paper, it talks about the cost for each one, and then the pros and cons for each one. So we're really just asking the board to give us some direction in which option you would like us to proceed with in having office space for the administrative staff of the fire department.
This is something we need on the administration. This is the thing that we've got to have sooner than later. We talked about it at workshop. I don't mind telling you my opinion. I don't like the notion that we're going to take the civic auditorium, which that might be the most feasible, but a lot of people uses the civic as a ways to have events. If we take that away, and that's economical for the citizens. And you know, the bottom line, we're here for the citizens, and taking a function away that they can't have the events. But on the other hand, we've got to take care of the needs for the city. So it's a hard decision to make. That would probably be the quickest and the cheapest, but probably not the most one that people would, the citizen would want. But that's my spoke on it, and I know it's been, Chief Clark has worked diligently for months on it, beat his head against the wall, and he's worked hard to get us to this point. So I'll open it up to somebody else to speak.
I'd just like to say, I mean, we did discuss this in the workshop, and, y'all know my feelings about rentals and the amount of money that we'll be throwing away on that. I really don't, first of all, if I could just get clarification on motion regarding, I mean, we're basically gonna make a motion on guidance.
On which property we're going to move forward with.
Okay, so we have to make a choice on it.
That's what we're asking for, yes, sir.
I guess we narrowed it down to 2. That's the only.
There's 3 total.
3. Okay, yeah.
And Chief Clark, I know that he's done this extensively, and he's looked, and y'all look, but my recommendation right now is, I mean, I hate to have to do this, but I need another month. I need another month. I mean, we could look at something else, possibly, because along with looking at this, the only money that I heard was just what the rentals were going to be, and that in itself would be enough to build something somewhere. I mean, so I just, I mean, if we have to go through the double motion to just withdraw it or whatever, but I would, I'm one vote. I'd like to have another month. I mean, if I have to vote on it tonight, I'll vote. But I would love to have another month to just look at this and look at, just look at it a little bit better with the dollar sign.
Yeah, I agree with you. Excuse me. I agree with you in one way, but Chief Clark has worked on this for 3 months, and they need a place to go. I really feel that we need to make some kind of decision tonight, because we don't need to keep Chief Clark and Ricky, and we just hired a what do you call that guy we hired? He's a life safety, and we got 4 people, and we need to put a place to put them, and though I hate to put them in the Civic, and I hate to pay rent, but saying that all 3 deals would be temporary, I would like for us to make a decision tonight on it.
Well, I got one other question. What the chief, you were talking, what happened to, if we make this decision tonight, all 4 of y'all are going to go together?
Yes, sir.
So what happened with the deal at where was it? Station 3? If you were going to build in the envelope to at least get your administrative assistant?
There is an option to do Station 2. That would only give us enough room for 2 offices there.
Right.
That would still leave myself and Chris. And as always, Chris is a traveling chief, as I have been now for a year or so. I've given up my office at 3 for a day room for the guys, because there wasn't a day room incorporated in that building. Chief moves from station to station, so honestly, I don't think it's really a question for me and him right now. We can continue to do what we do, but we definitely have to have somewhere to put that life safety officer and that admin assistant, because one of the jobs of the admin assistant, that person needs to be a stationary person, because we're going to have to publicize that they're going to be taking burn permits, setting up inspection for the inspectors and all.
That's what threw me off at the workshop. When you suggested that, I thought that would...
The Station 2 can be done. There is one open office there now from the vacancy from the other assistant chief, which we didn't fill. And they could be probably a small office that our city workers could probably put in, and even use the existing HIVAC system there to put 2 offices in for those 2 people temporarily. As we all know, we're looking, as the mayor said, as We've talked with Bruce. We know without doubt that we're moving forward and have to do something on building a headquarters. And at that time, all of us will be coming back together in that headquarters. It's just, this is, as the mayor said, this is just, we have two employees right now that when they come to work, I'll have to have them sit in the parking lot. I mean, we don't even have a linen closet to put them in.
Yeah.
So can that be done? Yes, sir. I couldn't sit here and tell you that that could not be done. That building's 4,570 square feet footprint. The rule we were looking at is 5,000 or more. It could be done. And even that would be a temporary situation, because we all know, we've talked about it even with the rest of the city in our growth plan, that things need to be brought more together. And obviously we need to be the same way. We're willing to do whatever the board wants us to do.
As am I. I mean, like I said, I'm one vote. I mean, and as it stands right now, the Civic Center and cutting out, splitting it down the middle and putting the two into Station 2. That's the only other thing, because I'm just adamantly against paying rent for a place, for a temporary place that you're just going to just give away.
I'll be honest with you, one of the struggles is bringing our admin together. We're scattered all over the city of Laverne and beyond. And to be a progressive fire department, to develop plans, to operate in a somewhat formal manner, to have the public to be able to go to one place to get permits, get questions answered, and consolidate some of this administration into one building, that's our challenge. And that's the reason we come to you for guidance. This has been a several month project. I will tell you that these are probably my best options as far as a temporary housing for our administration, and trying to be good stewards with taxpayers' money at the same time. As I said, this is a temporary fix to a long-term solution, and we requested your guidance on that approach.
I have a question. Do we have any idea or rough estimate how much it would be to remodel the Civic Center to the point that it could be functional for office space for the fire department?
I'm no contractor. We was going to put 4 offices. It's already got a bathroom, a kitchenette, air conditioner, Wi-Fi, electricity, plumbing, the whole 9 yards. I looked to erect some walls in there. 4 offices. One of the offices there on the right would be the reception or the administrative assistant, which would be a quarter wall, so that as soon as you walked in, you would have somebody to be greeted with. Actually, I've got it taped out inside that building. I'll be honest, I think that we haven't rented that building in the last couple of months. So it's taped off over there. I think that it would be your minimum cost. It would be more cost effective. However, that's the reason we came to you for guidance.
One thing I would like to just mention to the board as well is that I'm not opposed to using the Civic Center for a period of time, but I hope that we put a time limit on it when we go ahead and make a motion, either a year or 2, so that we can find a more permanent long-term solution.
And I'm hoping that here in the next couple of months, I can come to you with a permanent solution.
Again, I say, I'm not comfortable with the Civic. The citizens can rent the Civic, but the citizens cannot rent these other two vehicles. And the city's in the business of providing service. It's like the fire truck. We had the fire truck, $500,000 for a fire truck. It costs taxpayers money. We provide the service. Same as this building, yeah, it's gonna cost, we rent these buildings, it's gonna cost money, but we're providing a service. We're providing a service to the citizens. And the citizens cannot go and rent these other 2 buildings, but they can rent the Civic. And we're taking away a service for the city, like the chipper, the limb pickup. It probably costs us $100,000 a year, but it's a service we provide to the citizens, and it's a service that the citizens is grown to expect, and so is the Civic. A lot of people, a lot of the citizens gonna be disappointed. Here we are spending millions of dollars on different things, and we cannot leave the Civic as a viable economic way for the citizens can have parties. I see y'all worth the rent of the building to put y'all in the building. Y'all was worth the safety of the citizens was I guess was worth the $500,000 for the fire trucks. My opinion, I just hate to take that service away from the citizens. So I'm gonna get down on my footstool and say no more.
And one thing that I want to add, and that's something that we dwell on us and we take pride in, we're customer service. However you see it, we're customer service, and that's one of the things that we take pride in, and we do need to consolidate our administration so we can move forward to make our customer service better.
Okay, the other thing, I mean, to tack that on with what's been said, I mean, if we're gonna vote on it tonight, and everyone wants the Civic Center to stay, everyone wants, I mean, if we're gonna have to rent something, I believe that first one's out, because this first one is asking the city of Laverne to come in and put in plumbing, ceiling tile. We're gonna build a building and rent it. So, I mean, the first one, 605 is out, in my opinion. 1925 looks good. At least the owners is gonna go ahead and build your offices. That'll save that time. So, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3 for me as far as Civic Center, 1925, and 605 is out. I just don't think 605 is worth it. Because, I mean, are we going to be able to take those ceiling tiles on the floor with us when we leave? You just rebuilt that building for that person. And I'm not saying anything against that individual. I mean, if I had a chance to do it and I could get you to sign the dotted line, I'd do it, but.
It was made very, very evident to me in speaking with that landlord there that was the very first words that come out, well, the restroom needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's.
So that definitely, and it's not centrally located, so it's not actually putting, it's not putting us, and definitely not the administrative assistant where it needs to be, in my opinion, in the center of town, where the Madison Square is obviously right in the middle of town.
The other thing I'd like to say is I did speak with A.C. Davis, our Parks and Rec director, and he said that he has not rented out the Civic Center in the last 3 months. So it probably will impact some people. There are other options to rent, though, in the city. However, I don't think it's as many as might be expected.
And there is always the option of the multipurpose building.
Which, I mean, I'd like someone to, I'd like for the engineers or have codes or someone go over there and see if we can't build on to that. I mean, if we're taking away the civic centers from the citizens, we could erect something to extend the multipurpose building. And it's gonna be a lot, either way it goes, it's gonna be a lot less than rent and building another person, using taxpayer money to build another person's building business up.
This venture, and I do understand what you're talking about. We've all discussed this in multiple conversations for several hours over the last few months. We've looked at all those options, multi-purpose building. However, we have a lot of people that are renting, and also a lot of people utilize as far as city employees and other employees is there. We have looked at it across the board, and for a temporary solution, and even the mayor and I have debated, the Civic Center was probably the best option for the money, the time, and hopefully return it back to order once we're completed and have a new headquarters.
Any further questions about the way to go on the fire department administration? We got three options, and the reason I think we ought to do it tonight, and we could put it on for another month, but we're still gonna come back to the same conclusion. You know, I don't see of anything else opening up, so I'm gonna open up for a motion to at least do the building on Walden Road, the Civic Auditorium, or the building at Madison Square.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion regarding office space for the Fire Department Administration that we make renovations to 283 Old Nashville Highway Civic Center.
Got a motion to
Seconded.
to do take the Civic Auditorium. Got a second. Any more discussion? We done had enough. If not, we're gonna take a roll call. Alderman Cole, excuse me.
Sorry, I just want to clarify, is there any time constraint on that motion that you're making?
I'm sorry, that's what yes. We were looking at two years. I make a motion to accept Civic Auditorium for renovation for Fire Administration with a 2-year occupancy with a option of 6 months, just to be on the safe side. So 2 years, 6 months, 2.5 years. 2 years in with an option to add on 6 months if we run into something that's not going to allow them to get out in 2 years.
Got a change in motion for Alderman Jones to Civic with stipulations. Again, probably need another second.
Mr. Cole, would you wish to continue your second?
Wish to the second. Got another second by Alderman Cole. Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
Well, it's done. I'm gonna say no, but it passes 4-1. Good work, everybody. I know it was a tough decision. Chief Clark, I know you worked hard on it, and hate to see it turn out that way, but stuff does happen. Number 18, motion to approve agreement with Alpro for the police department software. We discussed that in the workshop and need a motion to approve.
Actually, we did just get the revised agreements yesterday, I believe it was.
That's right.
And the attorneys have not had a chance to thoroughly review that. So staff is requesting that this item be deferred as well as the next one when you get to it.
Okay, got a recommendation from staff to have this motion deferred. Need a motion to defer.
Motion to defer.
Got a motion to defer, second.
Second.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green. I say aye. This motion to approve agreement with Paul Pro for police department software has been deferred. 19, a motion to approve agreement with Agency 360 for the police department software.
Make a motion to defer.
Seconded.
Got a motion to approve and a second
To defer.
to defer. Alderman Jones.
Aye.
Alderman Brown.
Aye.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Green.
Aye.
I say aye. Number 19, a motion to approve agreement with Agency 360 for police department has been deferred. Finally, we're down to Mayor and Alderman's comments. Start with Alderman Brown.
Well, tonight was definitely a hot topic kind of night, so just wanted to clarify a few things. On the fire, the reserve truck for the fire department, I just kind of want to explain to everyone that truck has been out of service more than it's been in service. And it's had over $1 million worth, or almost $1 million worth of repairs in the last 2 years. It just seems prudent to strike while the iron's hot. This is a deal that we're unlikely to get anytime in the near future, and stop the bleeding, basically. That truck is just costing us as much, or a lot more than this new truck will, probably. On the rezoning, you know, of course, always, I want to listen to the people in Laverne, that you guys are my neighbors. I grew up here, and I want to definitely do what's best for Laverne going into the future for our kids and grandkids, and for all the generations that go on beyond that. And as far as a civic auditorium, it definitely, or the civic center, has a historical soft place for us all. It's not something we wanted it to be, or that I wanted to be a long-term solution. It is basically something to buy us a little time, give them a little space so we can find a more permanent solution. So I apologize for the inconvenience, for anyone that's inconvenienced with that, but I do think that's the best we can do for the city right now. Thank you.
Alderman Jones.
I agree with Alderman Brown on that. And like I said, the main thing is, if any of you paid rent, you know we're just throwing that money out there. And then to see the stipulations for some of the places, that would be negligent on this board's behalf to do that. So I think that we should use what we have, and go ahead and assist the administrative officers of the fire department. Also, there was situations around Middle Tennessee as far as flooding. We had a drowning, and I think they found the body in the flooding where they had to evacuate. So I'm asking y'all to keep those families in your prayers on that. And again, as alderman, I'd like to apologize for any citizens watching, and all the citizens that are here, that you even had to witness anything of what happened tonight, because that shouldn't have happened. It just plain and simple, it shouldn't have happened. And that's why I would have a very big problem if, we've got that kind of representation. If you think think the city was talked about before, we just don't need it. We just don't need it. But again, with the 4th of July, I was telling the mayor that was I was very grateful. That was my first 4th of July where we didn't get rained out, and that was one of the largest crowds we've had. That's been there in a while, and it was a very wonderful presentation, and I think everything went exceptionally well.
Alderman Cole.
Just want to congratulate again Alexis Sims on her award. Thank you.
Down to Vice Mayor Green.
Nothing.
You were taking my turn.
Good enough.
I want to appreciate everybody showing up for rezoning. Glad to see Charles. I served with him on the Plan Commission, and Charles, you've done a good job for so many years. Wish you'd come back. You've done a good job, and your wife Pat, appreciate y'all being here. Y'all long-time residents, and I appreciate y'all showing up. And Charles, you always could explain stuff real well, and I appreciate your service to the city. And Pat, I always enjoy your opinion. We might not always agree, but I think we truly, both of us, love Laverne, and I appreciate y'all coming. And I want to remember everybody, the farmers market every Tuesday till September. It's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's over between the City Hall and the library. Stuff should start coming in droves. Remember, National Night Out, it's August the 1st. It's always the first Tuesday of August. I can remember that because it always falls on the mayor and alderman's, at least a workshop or meeting. It's usually the meeting, and we have to postpone it to the next week, but it's always hot, and it's always a good turnout at the park for the National Night Out. And remember, people, about the Citizens Police Academy. It's August 22nd. They still have vacancies, 5 or 6 vacancies, and I took it year before last, I think, and it's very educational. I think everyone should take that in the fire academy. And when I took the fire academy, everybody went up on the 100-foot ladder, but they didn't have the right harness for me. But I did go up 30 foot and come down, and they thought I was chicken. It didn't break my heart that I didn't go up 100 foot, but everybody advised me if something did happen and it didn't have a harness, it make the city liable. But it didn't hurt my feelings that I went up 30 foot. But a lot of people went up 100 foot and enjoyed it, and I probably missed out on a good thing. But each class I took with the police and the fire was educational, and it was fun, and I recommend everybody to do it. And it's at least 5 or 6 vacancies at the police academy, and I think it's on Monday nights, I believe. But you'll enjoy it if you do it. And we had like I said, we had a great turnout for the 4th of July fireworks show. You know, I'm glad it didn't rain. It turned out the weather was great. The band was good. Everybody had a good time, and I want to thank the employees, the in-house employees that work so hard on this building, this room here. I know they saved at least $10,000, and it's something that's probably been needing for a long time. I hated to see the old tables go, because they've been here since the start of this building in '83. A lot of people have sat on them buildings. It's passed, and you know, Chief Clark, you mentioned something about the historic value of the Civic. It is a lot of historic value at that place, because that's where the grammar school from Laverne was been for a long time, and but it's still serving the city. When y'all get in there, it still be serving the city well, and that property has done it for years and years. And remember, we are all in a hot part of the year. They used to call it the dog days of summer. So remember your pets. Plenty of water and shade if you got them in the yard. And please do not leave the pets in the car, because they get hot with all that fur. And you shouldn't leave nothing in the car. And check on the elderly and the senior citizens in hot weather. Check on them. If they need some help, it's some kind of agency that can get help if they don't have at least a fan or air conditioner, because it gets hot. And I don't have anything else, and I want to thank this board made some hard decisions tonight, and I'm just glad, Chris, that you got a place, and because you have worked hard. I hate to give up the Civic, but the Civic is still working hard for Laverne. And with that, I call this meeting adjourned.